and at least here. Okay, so today we're going to be doing the standard scenario, which is a new home. And I would say I played this game a little bit. We'll go up to hard. We're not going to quite go up to extreme, but we will go up to hard. I haven't played this game in a little while, so I'm going to be a little bit rusty. That's good. I'm glad it looks good. Spent a while trying to optimize it.
We roam the still, cold world. No horizon in sight. The rulers of old, stripped of pride and glory. It feels as yesterday we were turning the wheels of progress. Until the frost stopped it all. Suddenly, without a warning. When tides had changed, they changed for all of us, no matter wealth or class. We've lost our world to snow. And with it, our last traces of humanity. We bid farewell to plenty, and for those who remained came the time to adapt. We decided to leave our homes and head north. We roamed for weeks, maybe months, leaving behind all the things we once believed had made us. It was hope that pushed us forward. Slowly, step by step. We knew the cost of our journey, and we paid the price 100 times. Finally, the time has come to build the last city on Earth.
Oh, I get chills every single time I see that opening. Whoever did that voice actor, whoever was in charge of it, whoever decided to do that opening cinematic, I think that's fantastic. So, scenario is a new home. We fled from London and crossed the sea to reach the frozen north. On the way, our convoy was hit by a blizzard and scattered. A handful of us managed to reach the site of this generator, only to find it frozen solid and abandoned. Why is no one here? Did any of our people survive the blizzard? Are there any others out there? Whatever we do, we should expect the worst now that the world as we know it has crumbled. We have to survive and build the last city on Earth. Fight the cold. We need to get the generator working. It provides heat and power to other buildings. Without it, we'll freeze to death. Stockpile some coal and start the generator. So what we're going to do, just to start with, so I'm just going to refamiliarize myself with the control scheme, and we're going to get some people immediately on these wooden crates. We're probably going to assign about 10 people onto here. And we're going to assign about 10 people onto here. Let's see, any more wood around? No. So we'll assign another 5 here, and we're going to get some people working on making sure we can get the generator up and running. Top nice easy tip for everybody is you can dismantle these streets right at the start, which is something you're definitely going to want to do, because it's going to allow for a better city layout later on. So we've got 16 wood at the moment. We're going to be looking to get some laws in to start with. So these laws will be different abilities that you can do. We want to get to extended shift quite quickly. I want to make this a rather nice place to be. So we're going to try and avoid child labour to start with, and we're going to just go on to an emergency shift. And we're going to let the world play. So we're going to aim, we've got about 80 people, so we're going to aim to try and get about 80 wood. Okay, now that we've got 80 wood, what you can originally do, and what a lot of people do during the early game, is they put the houses as close to the generator as possible. You can actually put them out here and get a little bit more space for everything. So that's what we're going to do. And we're going to wait until we get some more wood. There we go. We've got some more now. And what you can also do is you can save on wood. What usually would cost 2 wood here, you can change to be 1 wood by just putting a street down, like so. Now, next thing we're going to be working on is trying to get a medical post up, because we might be getting some sick people to start. We're not going to worry about food by today, because they're going to take a little while before they start getting hungry. We will set this out, but we're not going to let them build it yet. Okay, so we're going to start getting that out, and now we know where our cookhouse is going to be here, and our medical tent is going to be here. We want to probably get a workshop built quite quickly. What I like to do is I build them here to start with. And for this, we are going to want to build a little road up like this. We're going to wait until we get about 25 wood. Okay, so we're a little bit short, but that's not a problem. We're also going to get set up for the future by building this here. And we're going to start putting our generator on. Now look at them all going to build. We're going to take these people off of here. But we're going to keep about 5 onto here. Now it's the first night. So we're going to want to put some people into here. Put some people into here. This is where we can start to get some things ready. We're going to go immediately into faster gathering so we can try and get some more resources as quickly as possible. Take some people off. Make sure that is fully staffed. We're going to take some engineers off here. We're going to take some workers off here and put them over to collect the coal tomorrow. And make sure we've got enough staffed medical tents for the night. Now, hopefully, ideally, we want all these houses built before the next day. So we haven't quite got them all built. So that means we've started to get some sick people. We have a new law into place. So what we're going to do is we're going to go over to adaptation and we're going to go for extended shift. This will extend the workday in any facility to 14 hours. Now, that doesn't just apply for here. We can do that on everywhere. This one already is open 24 hours, so we're not going to worry about that. But for these, we're also going to set it up for 6 to 8. We're going to get with the idea of getting a cookhouse by tomorrow. Hopefully, we're going to be aiming to get food cooked by tomorrow so people don't start to get hungry. They're already going to gather some things. So let's start setting this up. Make sure we have enough wood to connect it. Like so. Then we want to get a second gathering place. Let's see how much they've got through this. So they might get through this within the day. So I'm going to pause on this for a little while. But we're going to go start collecting some coal up over here. Extending this out a little bit. We're going to take these 5 workers off here so they can start building. What have we got here? Family torn apart. Sir, a woman came forward after we built the workshop. She said that her husband and daughter didn't reach the city with the main group, but she's sure they're still out there. She wants to join the first scout team we'll send out. She urges you to hurry. So we're going to try and get a scout team to get the people that we haven't, that we left behind. What I should have also done is I should have turned off the generator whilst we're all working, because people won't start getting cold at this point. There we go, our faster gathering is done. So we're now going to do as that lady said, and we're going to go immediately over to the beacon. We want to get the beacon out as quickly as we can. Let's see how they're doing here. So my inclination is to probably wait a little bit. Now, we didn't want that to build first, we wanted that to build first. But you don't get an option to decide where people build. They'll just build where they want to. Now they're going to also focus on that. Okay, we're now getting into free time. We know these people are going to be finishing soon. So they're going to be 6 to 8. And we're going to get a prompt here. They are very concerned because the generator is turned off. Well, we'll turn it on soon. Now we're going to turn it on. We have another law. So we're going to go straight into here. And we're going to go for soup. Now we could do food additives, which means that we're going to add sawdust to the food. But this does have the ability to make hopeful, discontentful, and people get sick. So we're going to focus on making soup instead. Now hope will fall and discontent will rise. But that is something that we need to do to make sure we maximize our food output. We're going to build another medical tent here as well. Then we're going to try and get up another gathering post. We want to try and align this to this as much as we can. And this definitely isn't the most optimal start I've ever done. But that's alright. We're not necessarily going for optimal. We're not on the hardest difficulty. So, as you can see here, people are starting to get hungry. Now, they're not at the point of starvation, so we haven't got to worry too much. But they are starting to get hungry. I'm trying to get enough people. Make sure to change it to 6 to 8. There is a glitch sometimes which will say it will be on a different time. So we just want to always make sure we're double checking that. Now we're going to get enough people in here. We want them to start making soup. Make sure we definitely click on soup and not make sure they make normal food. And we want to start that as soon as we can. We can take these people off of here because we know we're going to get this built. Another tip you can do is if you've got more sick people, these only take 5 at a time until you get a particular law. We can take some of the engineers off here. As long as the engineers aren't sick themselves, we can then put them on here. So these two will now take care of the rest of the sick. So that went from 5, and now that other sick person is going to be okay. They will eventually get healed. Now the sick is rising, which is concerning. Once again, we're going to change that to 6 to 8. And same here. Now we're definitely going to have enough coal to last for tomorrow. Now you don't want to turn off the generator by 6, you want to turn it off by 8, because some people will still be recognised as not being ready to... forgot what I was going to say. Not being ready. Okay, so now we have 20 people. We're going to be working on this beacon. Right, let's have a look around. Now we've got some stuff set up over here, so we don't need to worry about this. We don't need to worry about this. We don't necessarily need to worry about this. So let's have a look in the technology, what we can do. We could try and get some hunting to get some more food, but for the time being, we're probably going to be alright. We want to focus on these hunters as much as possible. It's probably worth getting a sawmill, because we're going to want to get as much trees down as possible by the start. Now, as you can see, the wood is drying up a little bit, and we're going to need a lot of wood. And we're going to set this up as far away as we can from the actual place. And we can't necessarily do that straight away because there's steels in the way. So we might have to go around. Let's see if we can get a more optimal placement for it. We don't want to get into these squares because that will block off some areas. Now we could push this down here and do that like that. So that's probably what we'll do. These people are going to be going over there to do that. We've got another law, but we're going to wait a second until we can connect it. Now you can't see what that needs yet. Let's have a look. Okay. So, probably as a point, now we can get a corpse pit. Corpse pit is the preferred ways, but we're going to try and get a good place, so we're not going to be focusing on that. We could do radical treatment, which means more of our people are likely to be amputees if they end up getting severely ill, which is something we want to avoid in general. We can eventually deal with amputees, but not very much in the early game. So we're going to want to go for sustained life. This will keep people sick for longer, but it is the more humane thing. It will cause hope to rise. But people will be annoyed because they won't be getting better as quickly as possible. We will also need to eventually look after these people in care houses. So it's going to take up more of our precious space. There we go. We can get some of these workers on here now. Eventually, when we've had enough of these, when these are empty, we can refund it and get some of the we can partially get some of that back. Okay, so the sawmill is researched. We're going to want to work on steelworks as quickly as we can as well. Now he's going to get cold soon, but that is something we're just going to have to deal with. There we go. That is prompting us that we want to make some food, which we will do. Now, there we go. Just about enough to go get a sawmill down. And there's our beacon getting ready. Just 1 second, I'm just going to go check something. Yep, that is fine. There we are, rising into the sky. Now we can see the overview. Now I believe it should be paused. It's not. There we go, we will pause it. And once we get scouts, we can start sending them out to these places here. And we still need a lot more wood. That is cool. Yeah, it is cool. This game looks surprisingly good considering it was made a while ago. People cheer as the giant observatory balloon soars above the city. This is a real feat. Everyone feels proud of the work they've done to make it happen. Volunteers have lined up, eager to go looking for our lost people in the Frostland. The woman who came forward earlier is among them. So hopefully we can try and find their lost families. I'm going to get people immediately onto there. Eventually these are going to run dry, so we're going to be able to get the people off of here and start putting them someplace else. But our generator is still on, so that should be alright. As you can see here, everyone is comfortable at the moment. Out here, less so. Probably should have gone for heaters as a technology as a matter of urgency, because it's about to get real cold. And at this point, we want to be keeping this on at all times, because it's starting to get real cold for people. Now, we're going to start getting more sick, because as it gets more cold, it's going to get more sick. So we're probably going to want to be able to upgrade our capacity of our healing huts there. So we're going to go for overcrowding, which means the medical facilities are double, so they can now take 10 each. So that means 20 sick we can have in total. If you look over here, you can see how long it is going to take them to heal, and it does take some time. This is also taken away from our workforce, which you can see here. And the harder difficulties of this game, you have to manage and start taking people away. So then you can allocate healthy people. Okay, so we're going to go for heaters. Now this is collecting wood and steel, which we want to focus on, so we're not going to do anything there. But coal, we're doing alright on. In fact, we're probably going to get an influx of coal soon. So we've got 5 people. That lady earlier will be amongst them, and we're going to go and send them out to scout. First thing we're going to do is we're going to send it towards this gloomy cave. Second thing we want to focus on is making a steel mill. Steel mill? Steel works. Now this is going to be able to be linked up here with the other ones, so we'll put one down there. Probably one will do for now, but steel, you're always going to be low on steel no matter what you do. And we need 12 wood, so we'll wait for that wood to come. There we are. We probably want to get some people working on that as well, so let's have a look around. We're out of food, so as a matter of priority, we're also going to want to get some hunters' huts. Hunters' huts work in the night as well, so not too much to worry about there. We want to not get them in the way of any buildings, so let's try and put it there. And hopefully we can fit another one in that gap there. We are taking down some trees to do this, though, so we want to be careful not to take too much. One of our steel wreckages is depleted. I imagine it's probably one of these, or one of those up here. Ah, it's this one over here. Now we're about to get full up on coal, and once you get full up on coal, you're going to have workers doing nothing if you put them there. So we've still got the overdrive on. Now we've got heaters now, so things will get a bit warmer. And it's about time that we probably go up to the next level. Yeah, I would say so. Oh, we are a little bit of wood short. Let's hope we can get enough. Looks like we haven't got enough to go for some more wood, so we're going to have to wait until tomorrow. Okay, so we don't want to focus on coal so much, so let's take some people out of here. Keep 2 people there. This isn't too much of a priority, so we're going to want to go for 15 in total. Means they're going to have enough people to start going out and hunt. And with that in mind, we may as well go for hunter's gear so they get more stuff. Hopefully we'll have that research by the time they get back. Okay, I'm going to save the game here. just save it as Frostpunk 1. There we are. They have they have found the gloomy cave. This cave is or was inhabited. There are a number of footprints leading to its entrance. We should check it. We should check if there's someone alive up there. Beset by beasts. We can hear terrified shrieks coming from the cave uphill. When we come closer, several polar bears turn towards us, blocking the entrance. There are people trapped inside, and those beasts are picking them off one by one and feasting on them. So we have our options here. We can leave the bears alone. That means the bears will kill the survivors. We can risk attaching the bears. People in the cave will live. Scouts will escort them to our city if they survive. So the thing that we're risking losing here is the scouts. When our scouts attacked the bears, the people in the cave joined them, and together they drove the beasts away. Then they all set out towards our city. So we had the best outcome there, which is good. We're going to wait for them to get back. So we're going to be looking for some people to go in the steel mill now, so let's bring them over here. Now they're not working right now, so we don't necessarily need to worry about heating them. Let's take another person off here. Generally we are gathering a good amount, so we're not going to worry. Actually, we're going to want to keep on gathering this wood and this steel, so let's not take too many. We're going to get a good amount of wood in general, so let's just drop 3 and bring them over here. And there you go, everything's connected. Now our overdrive is getting a bit too much, so we're going to drop that down, otherwise the generator will explode. You do have an opportunity to stop it from exploding. If you do that, you have to sacrifice either a steam core, which are precious, or a child, which will cause great discontent. Effectively, what you'll be doing is you'll be sending a child in through the top part there, and, well, yeah, I'm sure you can imagine what would happen. There we go, we've got some more people back, which is fantastic. People from our convoy reunions. It's heartwarming to see families reunited after so many hardships. But shouldn't there be other settlements nearby? The first expeditions left London long ago. They ought to be well established by now. They'll surely help us find our footing. We will have to look for the others. Just over here, people are getting pretty worn out with having the long hours, but for the time being, it is necessary, so I'm going to say I won't address this for now. It's going to cause discontent to rise quite a bit. Now, we've got them sent out there. If we decide to send them back out there, they're going to get out there a lot quicker than they were before, but we need them to go to the crash site in the hopes of finding some resources. Now, we've got more people now, so let's go ahead and get them into some positions which will be good for us. We want to prioritize these places. We've got a lot more engineers as well, so let's start getting those sick people healthy. Now, we're not getting anyone making food at the moment, so for the time being we can spare some engineers, but we're going to start trying to get some more workshops ready. There we are. Some more workshops for the engineers. Get rid of that bit of road there, we don't need it. And there's more people going out. Now these places are getting cold, so I've decided to heat them up so they'll at least be in a position where they are chilly. So, as you can see here, it tells you what the likelihood of going ill is. And gravely ill is something we desperately want to avoid. And even now, we're starting to get some people that are homeless, so we're going to want to start expanding. But for that, we need wood. So we've got 34 there. So if you built 3 houses, 3 tents, that would not be enough. We need another set of houses because you need to be able to have everybody get a house. And there, once again, we are hampered by our buildings. So, for the time being, I'm going to have to just get rid of these with the idea of building them later. Once again, we want to wait until we get 50 wood. There we are, with 50 wood. But our wooden crates are gone now. So that's going to cause some problems. People are getting hungry as well. We still need to build those houses. Okay, and this place is entirely run out of space. So we're going to dismantle that because they've got nothing else to gather. Let's get these people on here. And they will dismantle that when they can. And let's hope that's going to be enough wood for us to build those houses back. So we just need 10 wood at least. The wisdom of the crowd. Captain, when facing demands, remember this. People usually look for the quickest solutions, not the best one. You don't have to agree to everything they ask for. If you fix the problem your way, it's fine. I'll bear that in mind. Now we've got another law. Okay, so let's start having a look around. So for the time being, if we build a fighting arena, they're going to expect us to build it, because we are promising to do this. So we don't quite have the resources to do that at the moment, so we're going to avoid a fighting arena. Now we're not going for labour, but if we do go for shelters, we're going to have to build child shelters that cost wood. So once again, we're running out of resources. Same thing if we build care houses. Once again, need to build care houses, need resources, so we're going to have to focus on that later. What we can do is build a cemetery, because it's only 10 wood. And it's going to make people less unhappy if people do die. People have managed to complete deathless runs of this game, so it is entirely possible to try and let everybody survive. We will see if we can manage that. I'm going to build this a little bit closer, actually, because we want to maximize our wood. Are we 1 wood short? Okay, well, we won't build that cemetery yet then. We're going to focus on getting people homes first. Our scouts will arrive soon. We are definitely going to be concerned about getting hungry soon. Perhaps it's about time we start building another one of those food huts. People are starting to get starving. Okay, so let's take these engineers off. Have they got any engineers? Nope. 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 We can have a look here to see where people are working. So let's get some of the engineers off here. We want to start getting that research as quickly as we can. People are starting to eat raw food. Engineers. Okay. Well, we've got 3 there, so we're going to drop 2 from here. Put them in here. We want to get those better researchers earlier on. And thank God our scouts have gone out. That's why our expedition was split up when our vehicles crashed during a snowstorm. Some of our precious supplies should be here. So we've got wood and raw food, thank God, so we can start feeding people. Fate of the Forgotten. There are plenty of priceless supplies in the wrecks of our expedition. Searching amongst the crates scattered in the snow behind the wrecks, we found the bodies. They're tangled together in a single frozen mass, as if these people were trying to find at least a bit of warmth just before they died. We can do nothing for them, not even bury them. But we've got to look after ourselves now. We can't spend too much time mourning the people of the past. We've got to focus on the future. We've got to build the last city on Earth.
Get going. Time to earn your bread.
There we are. So we have drawing boards now. Now, if you have a look at our heat isn't reaching the back of these buildings. Now, it is going to get warm soon, but we're starting to get that sick catapult. Could focus on more scouts to try and get more people out. Could focus on some medical posts. So what are we lacking in? So we can probably build more sawmills. We're not doing too bad on steel since we built that. We're not doing too bad on coal. Hello, Blossom Cat. How are you? So we're going to go for that generator range so we can get more people into the warmth. I'm okay, yeah, I'm doing good. Just thought I'd stream one of my favourite games today, just see if people were interested in watching. Have you ever played Frostpunk before? You just popping in to see a new game you haven't seen? No? Well, I'll be narrating it as if we're from the start then, so you might get some spoilers. It is a good game. I would recommend going to play it for yourself, but if you want to watch it with me, you're more than welcome to. Oh, did they? That's good. I'm glad to hear. Okay, so let's have a look. So we've got some people hunting there. So we're probably going to want to get some more food because we were dealing with the starving earlier. Now we've got some people heading over. Hello, Expire1135. How are you doing today? We've got some people coming over. There we go. They brought that food back that we desperately need. So where are we going to take some people off? Now, once again, doing all right on coal. Let's take some off and put them in here so we can make some food for them. I'm doing all right. I'm doing all right. Hope you're going to enjoy watching the stream. If you've played Frostpunk before, this will probably seem familiar and I'll be going over some things, but I'm going to be narrating it as if we're doing it for some new people. So if you haven't, then you get a brand new experience and you get to watch a brand new game. And there we go, our generator range upgrade has happened. So we've got some space. So there we go, you can see that ring has gone further out, so now these people won't be cold anymore. Let's have a look at the technology again. Okay, so we're doing some good getting some scouting out there. Now we've only got one spot for them to go to, so it doesn't seem to be too good a use of our resources to focus on that. So what we should probably do is we can either focus on better medical tents, make the sawmills better. I think what we'll do is we're going to take the next jump. We're going to go up another tech in research so we can get more important things. Try and get early as tech as we can. It will all compound, so it'll make tech faster, it'll make resource gathering faster. Okay, so we have 10 free people. I reckon we're going to probably need some more food again, so let's build that there. And I reckon we're probably going to need some more wood as well. So we've got lots of wood over here. We don't really want to destroy the wood when we're trying to capture it, so let's try and get a placement where we can try and get all this wood without having that pop up there that says buildings here will destroy resource sources. Doesn't look like that's possible, but there is a later upgrade that will increase the length of the sawmills. Feel free if you have any questions to send them over in the chat. I'll try and answer them when I can. I might get a bit sucked into the game, so if I do not see it or I do not reply, I apologize. I'll try and get to you when I can. There we go, we've got some more there. Doing all right on steel, so we can probably afford that. Once again, we desperately need food, even though we've just had some people bring it back. We've got people that are starving. There we go, the cemetery's built, so that'll make people happy. And once again, where have we got the workers? Now, we've got a lot of people going out to hunt, so what's the name of my little robot? You know what? I haven't actually thought of a name. You're more than welcome to suggest one if you got a good idea. Maybe like something ordinary like Jeff, Dave, yeah, pretty standard. I often find that having an ordinary name for something is quite funny. Okay, so we're really struggling with people here. I'm going to take some people off this sawmill and put them on here. Let's just make sure everything's nice and warm. There we are. Okay, not Dave then. It seems like Dave is not the option. Spike? Yeah, Spike's not too bad. I don't mind the idea of Spike. So we've got the Lost Expedition here. The rest of our people may camp here, too exhausted to go on. We should escort them to the city. Now, when you take scouting events, you do tend to come up with a situation where you could lose your scouts. So, because I'm trying to show off the game and I want everyone to see everything, we're going to make a new save, and we're going to hope that RNG doesn't screw us over. We enter the camp, preparing out of the driven snow. A choir of excited voices welcome us. Thank God you found us. We've been wandering for days until we couldn't go on any longer. Soon we'll begin to starve. Children and adults surround us, packed and ready to go. Well, we could let them go by themselves, but some of them might die if we decide to do that, so what we're going to do is we're going to escort them instead. Last game I streamed before this was Hades. So I'll be streaming Hades on Saturdays. I'll be streaming this on Mondays. I'm thinking on maybe Wednesdays we might play some Crusader Kings 3. And then I'm thinking on Fridays, we might do a bit of a potluck. So I'm just going to look through my Steam library and we're just going to pick a random game and play that. So if we have a particular interest in the game we've already played, then we'll play some of that. But otherwise, we'll just pick out randomly and we'll see if we can find any hidden gems amongst my many, many installed games that I haven't played. I don't know what the age rating for Frostpunk is, but when I went to go stream it, it suggested that it should be, it's a mature stream. So I think it is probably either like a 15 or an 18. It does deal with some sensitive subject matters, so it is a rather mature game. So if you are below 18, I would advise maybe having a look to see if the age is appropriate for you. I do like Spike. I think Spike we might be coming back for. The 17 plus. There you go. Didn't know it was a 17 plus. I didn't know 17 plus was a game rating system. I'm used to film ratings, I guess. Let's have a look then, see if there's anything else. Okay, did we manage to get that research? Okay, yeah, we didn't go for it. Forgetting what I did before. Alright, we look like we're doing alright here. We've still got a lot of starving people. But everyone does seem to be keeping relatively warm. And look at that, temperature's going to rise. You're more than welcome to watch if you want to. I think you'll enjoy the other games if you enjoy Hades. It's a roguelike. I like strategy games as well. I tend to play mostly Paradox strategy games. That tends to be the sort of thing that I like. There we go. We've got some more people here. 30, so we will have exactly enough spaces to do it. And we're going to have to go get more food again because people are starting to get hungry again. So let's go ahead and put a load more down. Let's go ahead and make sure that's got enough things. Now we're starting to run low on coal. And soon, these coal resources on the floor are going to deplete. In fact, I think it might even be worth us getting another medical tent. Let's see where we can place it in where it won't be disruptive. Try and get that into the corner as much as possible there. Maybe we'll put down another workshop as well. And just try and get that research up as much as possible. If I tried FPS games, I have played a lot of FPS games kind of when I was younger. So I played a lot of Halo back in the day. I did play a lot of Call of Duty. But I've always enjoyed playing strategy games. That's always been kind of my bread and butter. But I do occasionally play some FPS games. So we got up to another level of research there. And let's see if we can go ahead and... Well, we're going to have to focus on coal soon. We've got one steam core, which is what these use. I'm thinking we should probably get some coal thumpers. I think that's a better use of our time. If you want to go for coal mines, it's going to require less people, but they don't gather as much. Whereas if you go for coal thumpers, it's more likely that you're going to need more people to gather the coal. It will leave coal on the floor like this, so you have to put gathering huts, and you have to have people working the thumpers as well. But it looks like at the moment that housing isn't, that workforce isn't exactly our issue. We want to make sure that discontent is gone within 22 hours. And it is. It's probably because we're starting to build buildings and make people happy and make sure they have enough health support. No, I don't think I've ever played an FPS in the time that we've known each other at all. I mean, I might have. None off the top of my head. Typing is hard. Hey, you should try having dyslexia. It makes it even harder. Okay, let's have a look. So, we're starting to have problems with not having enough hunters. So let's try and get these workers down with the hunters. What new building did we get there? Yeah, so we got the coal bumpers. So we're going to want to keep this out of the way a little bit. So I think we should start building these up here. Because later on we're going to want to build what is a... can't remember the name for them. Steam hub over here. So then we can try and heat up as much of this area as we can. These don't need to be heated as well. So let's get set up for the future. There is an optimum layout for this. I honestly can't remember it. Let's see if we can get some more wood there. I think 2 would probably be alright for now. There we are. Let's get some more people to research. Just making sure. There we go. We had one there that was keeping it out. We want to make sure these things are on 6 to 8. So we want as many people working as we can. And there we go. All of our sick are being taken care of now. Try to keep people warm. Let's turn off the overdrive. We want the overdrive to be ready for when the temperature drops there. I have got some horror games in my Steam library, so I have been thinking about playing, I think it was Amnesia, but not the oldest one of the newest ones. Oh, thank you for the follow. I heard the follow sound. Thank you very much for the follow. Okay, now, as much as I want the children to go to the mines and do some child labour, we're going to go try and get some child shelters instead. Thank you very much for the other follow. Gwen? Where did Gwen come from? There we go. Alright, alright. We've got the observatory here. Something amiss at the observatory. Snow covers the precious instruments and the dome is open, letting out a thin column of smoke. Someone's inside. Once again, we're going to be dirty cheaters and we're going to just save here. Just in case we have RNG, because we want the best outcomes here, at least for our first playthrough. I'm lost. I must have been lost in the chat. I'm still liking the idea of Spike, to be honest. That does seem to appeal. Okay then, so the sun is dimming. Instead of astronomers, we are met by some of our lost people. They explain they came here for help but found everybody dead. The astronomers continued their observations until they starved. What was so important for them? They wrote it up in their diaries. The loss of sunlight can't be explained solely by the fouling of the atmosphere by the southern volcanoes. The sun is dimming. Now, what on earth is that about? So, we can escort the survivors back to the city. We can send them, which means that people could start dying. Or, if we don't think we can take them, we could leave the survivors to their fate. Now, we're going to escort the survivors to the city. Now might be about the best time that we should be looking for another scout here to send out to here. But at this current time, we're still researching. We're not even researching at this time. We have to wait for everyone to wake up and start their day. How are we doing on food? Oh, we are massively having a problem with food. So, where are all our workers? Alright. We're going to have to start prioritizing food. Once we get that new research, we're going to have a lot more workers to be able to throw around, but for the time being, we've just got to make sure everyone can eat, and they won't go out hunting until tonight, so let's hope we can feed all the starving people. I'm very concerned by the message deleted there. Tell you what, when we get some more followers later on, I'll do a poll for it. Thank you very much for the follow. Thank you very much for the follow, Inspector's friend. Friend or fiend? Fiend. No, friend. Definitely friend. This is why. Yep, I have dyslexia, so sorry if I get it wrong. I'm also awful with names. Now, everyone's starting to get very tired of these long hours of toil, so let's look to get regular shifts for everyone now. We're doing alright on our resources. Our food isn't going to be affected by it, so let's start letting people relax a little bit. And we still need to build those child shelters, so we're looking for 15 people, 15 children. So we've got 23, so we can do that with 2. We want to keep it a little bit out of the way, but we want to put it vertically, horizontally, so then we can make sure that they get housing. Okay, we got more people back. We're going to have to build more houses, which means we're going to have to focus on making sure our heat extends more. It's a constant game of catching up this game. And look at that. Now that we've got some more people, And we've managed to get that law passed so we can get some more, so these places take less workers. We can start trying to catch up again. Now, we don't need to worry about coal at the moment because we're still collecting from over here. This one's about to run out, so let's try and finish it up. And now we're about to have a lot more engineers, so let's get more people in here. You know what, we might even build another sawmill. And let's see if we can get that other side there. Ironically, we need more wood to build more sawmills to get more wood. Now, what I should absolutely not do is click this button, because if I do so, they're going to get really upset with us letting them have some time off. Oh, I didn't know that. I've never played Marvel Rivals, but I've heard it is very popular. I'm not, I'd say I'm kind of a Marvel fan. I wouldn't say it's like my favourite ever sort of series. I like the original Sam Raimi ones. So your Spider-Man. I don't tend to like the newer ones as much as the older ones. Okay, let's get our engineers onto here. Let's have a look. Alright, so, now that we've got the child shelters, now we can actually get the children to do something, so they are not absolutely useless like most children are. We can have them do medical apprenticeships, which means they're going to be able to help our medical facilities, which is something we sorely need. We could have engineering apprenticeships, which means they're going to help with our research. Now, eventually we're going to hit a cap on our research, especially in this story. So it could allow it to reach it faster, but we're doing all right with our workshops at the moment. So I think we should start having them help out at the medical facilities, make sure we don't get too many sick. Remember, guys, we are playing this on hard, so there is a chance that we could still, well, lose some amount. And once again, we're still running out of food, even with all of these places, so maybe we should focus on our food technology next. We've still got some more here, so let's get some people to go ahead and gather that coal that will be produced tomorrow. Oh, okay, fair enough. Yeah, I like the new Deadpool movie. I did go to watch that. I did enjoy that. I like that fourth wall breaking. I think that's quite fun. Okay, now we can start to get rid of some of these roads that were built before. We might be just looking for a little bit more wood, so let's see if we can find any roads that are no longer useful. And it doesn't look like we have any. So we're just going to have to struggle for the time being. Unfortunately, some of those people will have to be homeless for a little bit longer. No, not Survivor. I have played this game on Survivor. Actually, oh, it's not showing my Steam overlay. Oh, that's a shame. I have 100% of these achievements, so if you call me a scrub, then I'm going to be rather upset. Welcome back, welcome back. Okay, so we're going to get some more scouts here. Let's see if we can get some lighter scout sheds. Hopefully we can get some more of that food. And we're going to try and get some more scouts out there, get some more people. Now, this place has run out of wood to gather, so let's dismantle it. Now we're going to focus primarily on getting housing first before we focus on anything else. And this is why we had that little gap there. Thanks, Dirty Blue Dog. You say the nicest things to me. You definitely are becoming the villain of the channel. First saying that I didn't win in Hades, even though I have objective proof I did. There we go. We've got a lot of wood there and a lot of food, which we desperately need. So, I think we should head back to that immediately. Not worry about going to the next place. Because we're about to have some more scouts as soon as we can get that wood. Gonna keep up with the coal. So deeply, Dog, do you play every game on the hardest difficulty straight away when you're trying to show it off? Because if you don't do it yourself, I don't think you can throw shade. We are awaiting your response. Okay, so we've got some more people here. Let's have a look to see if we can get some more workers out. Let's take some from here. We're doing alright, and we're still going to definitely be doing alright in wood, so let's send it out. And let's send these people straight over to the steel bridge there. There we go, and now we've got everybody fed, which is fantastic. We're going to send these people also over to the steel bridge. I do have no way of fact-checking you, but maybe if I look at your achievements on your Steam, and I see that you haven't got the achievements for completing the game on hard difficulty for something, I'll know that you don't immediately go into it with playing at that difficulty. So I await your response to that. So we're about to get full of wood. So I'm probably going to want to deal with being full of coal. So I think we should start getting some storage places down. This is constantly a game of trying to catch up. So this is a model that I found online. I'm looking to get my model designed. If you look in my About section, you'll see the information on who the artist and the illustrator is of. I tried to pick a model that looked most like myself as I could, really. And something that I'd feel comfortable with being my representation to the rest of the world. Might I have some difficulty doing that? Well, I would be tempted to go have a look, but I'm in the middle of streaming right now, so I'll have to wait to check that later. So we've got some more resources here, so let's go ahead and make sure that we have enough space. Everywhere's starting to get cold again. Let's make sure everyone's nice and warm. Well, chilly. -40. I will make I'll make a post about it. How about that? I'll make a video. If you go, I'll make a video on my YouTube channel proving you wrong. Go check out my YouTube channel, which is in my About. There you go, cheeky plug. Oh well, we don't have too many gravely sick at the moment. We don't have any gravely sick or in palliative care, so let's not worry about that for now. Let's just try and get down a fighting arena. Fighting arenas do not have to be warm, so we want to try and get these in a place where we can get as many houses as possible. This will lower our discontent. And our gathering post is depleted, so we're going to go ahead and dismantle that, get the resources back. And there we are, our sawmill upgrade. We are going to be absolutely fine for coal for a little while. Not coal, for wood for a little while. Okay, let's have a look at what's next. So, we might run out of space to put people down. But we don't have the next expansion in terms of here. So, I think for the time being, let's have a look. It's going to get warm again. But, let's go see if we can get that next generator upgrade. There we go, fighting arena is built. All that discontent is going down. We're trying to make as happy a city as we can. I see arguing in the chat. Ah, there we go. A brass plaque on the bridge tower reads, "Built by the people of Winterhome in AD 1887. The bridge is kept completely snow-free by a working automaton." And there we are. There's one of the automatons. A bridge to Winterhome, a functional automaton. We stopped at the edge of a deep, wide ravine, marveling at the steel bridge spanning it. Even more so, the huge automaton sweeping snow from the roadway. It'd be possible to send the machines back to our city or disassemble it for resources. We could do with an automaton. Let's send it back to the city. We don't need to dismantle it. We would get steam cores, but I have a sneaky suspicion we'll be alright for steam cores from a certain location we will find. And there we are. So that means we can immediately send them on to the weather station, and then we can send the next people over to the large convoy. I am seeing a little bit of childish arguments. Yep, I certainly think D Blue Dog is being rather childish. Definitely not knowing him personally. You have to start heating 9 of the cold homes. So people are complaining that it's cold. For 2 days now, our heating can't survive for that long. So we're going to have to say, I'm sorry, you're going to have to be cold for a little while. Because we can't immediately make that happen, which is what they want. The game's constantly about trying to make people as happy as we can, but that can be difficult. Just like trying to keep the comment section as happy as you can. Alrighty then, how are we doing? Got some people being sent out there? Any questions about the game, people? If you've got any questions, feel free to send away. So we're going to escort the survivors back to the city so they don't die on the way. And we've got some coal and we've got some precious steam cores here. There's nobody in the weather station, but everything still seemed to be operational. We could try to find out what the scientists from Winterhome were working on. We're going to take these resources. But we're not immediately going to head back home for them. We're going to head over to the coal mine. And then we're heading over to Winterhome. Search for other cities, abandoned station. The recent report from the weather station has got people talking. They're frightened that such an important facility was apparently abandoned. Some are starting to wonder whether the evacuation from London was a good idea. A few people are lamenting openly. I know we shouldn't have come. At least London had real houses, not tents and wooden shacks. What was your question from earlier, Panda Speaks? Send it again and I'll try and answer. I'm sorry, there's been a flurry of messages.
Work time. Get back to work.
And let's see if we can get that generator range open. Unless that wasn't directed at me, Panda Speaks. More coal than we can use. This coal mine was in operation until very recently. The machine isn't running now, but there doesn't seem to be anything wrong with it. Perhaps the mine simply extracted its quota or filled the loading bay. We could retrieve plenty of raw materials if we took the machinery apart. So we could only take the stored coal, which means we can continue to use that as a place to get us coal, or we could dismantle it. I'm going to say we're going to only take the stored coal. We could use some extra resources. Let's head over to Winterhome. Child being sacrificed. So, if you... absolutely normal thing to say in Frostpunk. So, if you get to a position where you are... you overdrive the generator for too long and it gets over to about, I think it's 95%, there are a couple of things you can do to stop it. You can put a steam core to try and stop it. That will lower the amount of the overdrive and your generator won't explode. Or, alternatively, you can sacrifice a child to the generator. And by what I mean by that is you send a child in through the top of the generator to try and fix it. So, once the generator does come back on, unfortunately the child burns alive. Yep, this is why it's probably got an age rating for this stream. Otherwise, if you were talking about the other thing I meant about child being sacrificing, I probably just meant child labour. Sending the children down to the mines because they yearn for it. Usually the way I play this game is I'm a lot more, let's say, evil dictator than a kind, benevolent overlord. So you can build... what you want to do is you want to build within the circle here. So that's what we keep doing when we are focusing on these range upgrades. That means the center generator will push out. Otherwise, you're going to use heaters. You can work all the way up to here. So where that red ring is. But once you get to that point when you go past the red ring, that's it. You can't build anymore. So you're going to have to start dismantling places, and you're going to have to start rebuilding and re-optimizing where you want everything to be built. For this one, it's not too bad. You're probably going to have enough space to get everything sorted. But you want to be very clever about how you use space. Otherwise, you will run out of space, which could lead to people being homeless and could lead to worse problems. There we are. We've got some people being sent back now. Now, for no particular reason, I'm going to send these people over to here, because I know how this game is. Even though it doesn't seem logical to do so. Okay, and now we've got some more homeless people. So we've got 39, so we can put a space in there, and now we're starting to run out of space again. One more. Now we're starting to get to the point where we're going to the next level, so that's why we went for that upgrade. So, we're going to start building out again. Want to keep these as much as you can within where the fighting arena is. Let's try and make sure that they've all got roads going to them. Got a lot more people. So I think what we should do is we try and generate where all these workshops are. Try and get more space. The easiest way to kind of make best space is to put roads down. It will constrict the amount of space that places can use. So if I build a road here, it's going to build it this big. But if I can do this right, say about that far, put the house down. Now you can try and get them within smaller locations by using roads. It is very finicky. The best people at this game tend to do that. You can get by the game without doing that, but it won't be optimal, and when you're playing in like endless mode, it definitely won't be the best route you can take. So let's try and make sure we're keeping up with coal, so that's good. Let's make sure we're keeping up with steel. Starting to get enough wood, so that's absolutely fine. They're not running out of wood anytime soon. So let's just double down on coal here. See if there's any engineers around. We want to try and take the engineers off things, because we need them to start researching when we build these places. Now, everywhere now has now got over the fact that they don't need to work as long. So unfortunately, we're going to take advantage of that by having them work longer. We should probably do that tomorrow. There we go, so they don't immediately start working. Yes, having a good bit of planning is definitely a good idea. I didn't go into this one with a lot of planning, but I would say for most games of this, especially if you're playing at the higher difficulties, planning ahead where you want to put your stuff in is good, especially when you're working on these fighting arenas. And later on, you're going to get places like chapels or watchtowers, and they also have radiuses. This is going to make sure your discontent stays down. There we are. They've reached the gloomy cave. We're not going to worry about them for now. They've already gone there. There's nowhere else to explore over there. Okay, so we have a fighting arena. We could make a dueling law. Disagreements between people who face deadly threats can be solved with a duel. So discontent will be reduced permanently. Fantastic. Each spontaneous duel will slightly reduce discontent. Even better. However, some people will be killed in a duel. We want to try and cause as little death as possible. We want to look after our people. So instead, like all good British places, we're going to build ourselves a pub. That'll keep people happy, won't it? We want to make sure the pub is within reach when we get our next heat generator. So once that has gone up, hopefully that will reach that far out. Yes, so you'll find more about that later. I don't necessarily want to spoil you on the game. But there is an endless mode to this game, so you can get infinite resources, yes. Also, these things here will allow you to build important facilities that can also make endless resources. The only thing is, you won't have infinite people, so eventually the game does get a bit stagnant when you play endless mode. Get some more hunters' huts. Just make sure we don't go over that space. Yep, that's all good. Alcohol does keep people warm, indeed. Or it makes them think that they're warm half the time. There we go. Hope rises now that we put a pub down. And you know what we're going to do? We're going to immediately say, nah, no one's going to work at the pub. Let's get them researching. Let's see. My interesting thing, if you have child labour, the pub is not considered a dangerous place to work. So you won't have children get injured when working there. Let's go put some people over from collecting coal. I'm sure they'll appreciate the change of pace. And now we have Winterhome. We climbed up to the edge of the city. We stood there speechless, staring at the scene of devastation. It's the city of the dead. Most of the buildings are destroyed and the generator has exploded. The streets of the ruined city are littered with scores of dead bodies. The City Chronicle describes the shortage of food and citizens' increasing despair. The following: squabbles, riots, and descent into anarchy. Fight for dwindling resources and the eventual starvation. The last entry: God forgive us. We're eating our dead. There's no hope. The ultimate conclusion from this is, we are very much the last city on Earth. We are alone. The news has shocked everyone in the city. There are supposed to be many settlements and construction crews here, people living normal lives in homes heated by generators. But we're alone. Hope falls. Now look at that hope fall, people. Look at it fall. Discontent is high. Winterhome has fallen. They're all dead. How will we survive here without any help? We have to go back to London. There's no hope for here in the frozen desert. People start to gather as the news of the fate of Winterhome spreads through the city. Some of them want to drop everything and flee to London. Panic is starting to set in. I must give them purpose. So, this is the second part of our game. People are shaken, racked by fear and doubt. They lost hope in our chance of survival. Desperation could quickly push them to commit reckless acts. We have to unite them behind a vision of the future, decide now what will give them purpose and restore hope, or else our city will descend into chaos that has consumed Winterhome. We can go for order and discipline, or we can go for faith and spiritual strength. Now, I'm going to leave this up to you guys. Put a little message into the chat about what you think is probably best going forward. Should we go for order, or should we go for faith? I'm seeing order. I'm seeing faith. Another faith. Looks like you're being outvoted there at the moment, Deep Blue Dog. I know that's you. That mustache isn't very convincing. Okay, I'm gonna wait another about 5 minutes and see if there's any update. It got timed out. Oh dear. Alright. I'm seeing another faith in the list. Yes, it could not possibly be the same person because this person is wearing glasses. Alright, we're gonna go with faith then. Faith and spiritual strength. Just gonna check there. One of the people that followed said they got timed out, so I'm just gonna have a look. Oh, that's not too long. You'll be alright. What is the message? Amazing. Alright, so we now have some more things. This is why I sent this person over here, because I knew they could go to the American camp. Several big tents, no sign of life. A flag flies over them. The American flag. God forbid. Even from this distance, we couldn't mistake the stars and stripes. And we have more people here. We could set up an outpost here to grab wood. But for now, we're just going to go over to the freshwater springs. We're going to still have that automaton. It's making its way. It's going to help our life a lot. Now let's have a look. Do we have any more engineers? Now it looks like they're all focusing on research, which is what we want them to do. However, we are dealing with a bit of a health issue, so just keep that in mind. The unconvinced want to leave. So you're convinced the majority, but hope is low. A group of people are still so scared they want to flee the city for London in 15 days. They've come to try and change your mind. You say that faith will save us? Nonsense. What are we going to pray for? Food? When we start to starve? Shouts one of them. If we don't try to reach London, we'll end up like Winterhome. Calm down, everyone. We're not going to die. The Londoners. Our next step in our adventure. Your people are divided. Some of them are so scared they plan to leave the city for London in 15 days. They'll try to convince others to join them, preying on their discontent. Fear may lead people to desperate acts. Maintain peace, give people hope, and manage their discontent to guide the city safely through the looming social crisis. No. And then immediately that went up from 19 to 27 due to the discontent. People join the Londoners. Sir, the people want to leave for London, have successfully urged their friends and the neighbours to join them. People are more easily persuaded because they have little hope in our ultimate survival. Thank you very much, bot. You may most certainly decide to go ahead and look at that if you want to. That is entirely your own prerogative. I am not here to police your minds. There we go, some more hunters' huts there. Let's make sure everyone's fed. And there we go, another generator range. That means soon. Let's try and get another research before we do anything. Alright, so what do we need to focus on at the moment? So we could go for some flying hunters, but that's going to take a lot of wood and a lot of steel, something we don't have right now. So we've got 2 steam cores. I think we should start looking to start getting some of those unlimited resources. Let's go start looking. Let's have a look. At the moment, we can pretty much be alright focusing on sawmills for that, so we're not going to focus on that. But what might be worth going into, let's see our coal. So our coal's constantly having difficulty. So it might be worth looking into coal mining, but we're going to have to wait until we get some more resources first. There we go. So some coal mining. We've got some more survivors. We will escort them to the city. So, as part of our faith route, we can now build chapels. So we're going to try and want to build these chapels to have as much reach as we possibly can. That includes places like the healing facilities. Probably best to put them near our fighting clubs as well. And here we go. Here's our automaton. Right, let's have a look. So, got people working on wood. That is fantastic. Where is the best place to put our automaton? Well, this one's got a lot of wood to deal with, so let's put them on here. That'll leave us some engineers, so we can start building more places to get more healing. Yeah, I'll have a look into doing that in a little bit. One moment. Okay, let's try and make sure we can get more coal there, so that's fantastic. And then let's have a look at waiting for more wood. And let's put another healer's hut just here. Keep on healing, then medical posts, not healing huts, my apologies. Using automatons. Our first automaton is operational. This will help our economy greatly. Automatons can replace entire manual labor crews. They work around the clock with short breaks to refuel at the generator. We can research upgrades to raise their efficiency and capabilities, something we will be looking at later on. Now let's see what they've explored. The American camp. There's not a living soul in the camp. We found about a dozen emancipated bodies. Surprisingly, most of them were amputees fitted with prosthesis. There's a steam core and steel. The American camp was well supplied with everything except food. Searching the tents, we found more victims of hunger. Most of them had badly worn but sophisticated artificial limbs bearing a company symbol. Tesla Manufacturing. We can only bury them and take their equipment. Let's take the resources, and let's have a look at this temporary settlement. We can see 2 rows of small wooden huts, but no smoke or other signs of life. All in all, it looks like a well-kept but temporary settlement. There we go, we've got coal mining set up. So we're kind of low on resources, so let's look for something. We're going to need these eventually. Let's have a look at some steam hubs. Can you make a note of their name, please, D Blue Dog, so I can make sure that's on the ban list? We're starting to get low on steel. We're not going to be able to get any more steel, so it might be worth us changing that out for over here, which I think is probably best. That means they can work round the clock. Temporary settlement. The abandoned settlement seems to have been... The settlement seems to have been abandoned. Well, I wonder why. It consists of several tidy wooden shacks that are now completely empty. An upright boulder stands at its center. Temporary settlement. Memory of injustice. The center of the settlement is marked with an upright boulder. On its roughly placed face, someone chiseled the following: May God forgive us, the genius who sacrificed human lives in the name of progress, for we can't. Exiles of Tesla City. We won't touch the monument, but we decided to dismantle the huts for wood. Then we have walled colony and a fishing village. Let's go over to the fishing village. Okay, I'm just going to save the game here. There's the second one. We're going to take a little break, ladies and gentlemen. So, please go ahead, go get watered, go to the loo if you need to go to the loo, and we will be back in a little bit. There we are, back to where we left it. Okay then, let's have a look at what we do next. So we've got enough people in the public house. There we go, we've got our medical house back up. Just making sure that's heated. You can tell it's heated because it'll have a little red outline around it. So that's how you know it's heated. You can also rename the different things. Let's go with, I think we'll call the automaton Jeff. Oh, I've changed it back. No. There we are. Anyway, let's pick it back up. So now we're going to have more of those sick being treated. We are getting a lot of sick now, so that's something we've got to keep up with. We're getting a lot of people that want to go there. What we can do is we can do a short sermon, so that's going to cause hope to rise slightly. Hope will pull off against discontent, so... Londoners once again gaining even more followers. We're going to try and lower some discontent in a minute. Let's see, have we changed any of these? We really want to keep these researchers on longer, but I think it's time that we drop it so we reduce some of that discontent there. There we go. We managed to keep people happy. That causes hope to rise. So we're going to lose some of that research time, but that's alright. It's not the end of the world. And there we are. We're doing better on heating. But we have more people again, so let's look in to get some more housing. Once again, we're going to try and build them around where we know things are. It's going to mean more food. Now let's see if we've got enough children's shelters. So we've got 34. These each hold 15, so we're going to have to build another one. Let's get those scouts back out. They've already gone over this way, so let's focus on getting these people over here. We will soon look into getting some of the resources from over here. Coal's probably a good shout. So we've got some more people, so let's just make sure that they're there. We want to make sure our efficiency is high. We want to make sure we're gathering enough. In fact, it might be worth, rather than putting those people on there, building up another gathering hut there. Because we're not getting through the coal as quickly as we're making it. We should probably look into making that coal mine. So we'll try and get some things out there. Probably not going to get in the way of houses, so let's bring that down there. Let's make sure that they are gathering. Coal mining operations means that those coal mines are going to do even better. So let's have a look. Now we've got some more exploration. Let's go get an outpost depot. Oh, we are low once again. We want to probably get another steelworks here as well. Constantly trying to keep up with the resources here. It can be a bit of a hassle, but once you kind of get into the flow of it, you'll be alright. Get some more wood. I would strongly suggest, if you haven't got this game, giving it a go. Trying to buy it yourself. It's much more, it's very enjoyable doing it yourself. We want to upgrade those steelworks, so we're just going to wait a minute. And there we go, we've gone to the fishing village. A hot spring keeps a tiny patch of sea from freezing here. The American used this opportunity to set up a fishing village. It's deserted now. This fishing village used to supply Tesla City with food. Searching it, we found a letter. Mike, don't return to the city. Tesla is a madman. He cast out all the amputees, all the sick. Jerry's parents and old Beth were among them. There will be blood, that's for sure, and soon. The village was left in order. We could send a team here to start fishing. So we could leave the village intact. We will still get 2 steam cores, and it will allow us to get an outpost to deliver food, or we could dismantle it. But I think we'll leave it intact in case we want to use it in the future. And there's Tesla City there in case we want to go over there. Now let's see what resources they have and if we want to bring that back. And we could probably do with it. So I'm going to go over to here and see if there's anyone over here so we can bring some people back as well. Now our technology's done. Are we still waiting on that wood? We are. So we'll just wait a little bit longer. There we go. So we're going to get some steelworks. And now we've got another law. So we could go further into our adaptation laws. This is going to mean that we can give moonshine to people. Every meal slightly lowers discontent. Eating soup causes less content, which is what our people are eating. But I think we should go over with our new perth here, which is purpose and faith. So we're going to build some shrines. Paying at shrines will give people the strength they need to take on arduous tasks every day. So this can be a new law. We'll be able to build shrines. Shrines raise the hope of people working nearby, and they increase the efficiency in nearby workspaces. So we'll build some shrines.
Hear me. New law in the city.
So this does take some steel, but if we put it near the place that produces steel, so these can be built on roads. So if we had a road here, we'd have much more luck trying to connect it together and get everything. So let's build the road down a little bit. So that's probably the closest we can get it whilst trying to get everyone. So that's one shrine.
Time to rest, folks. Work's
We're doing alright on food, which is good. Everyone's going away again. So people have started recently to visit the House of Prayer. There aren't many of them yet, but it might start off something special. It seems they really need a place of worship. There we go, let's get more people on those steelworks there. Let's have a look around. So wood isn't too much of a priority for us at the moment, so we should probably take some of the people off wood. Let's get them over to the mine over there. Start heating places up. It's only minus 30 actually, so what we can probably do is we can probably let these places be a little bit chilly for a little while. So we're going to be able to heal people better because we have the range to do that. Now we are still getting people that are hungry. So we could build a shrine here. In fact, it might be worth building a shrine for all our researchers, because then they're going to be able to research a lot quicker and it's going to help. But also it might be worth building one here to help the cook's hut and the medical place. So we'll build 2 more, because we do need to build 2 more anyway. Unfortunately, the Londoners are going up, but we've still got 12 days to deal with that. Okay, let's head these people over to the snow cliffs. And there we go, we've got some more exiles there. Numerous snow shelters expertly built from blocks of hard-packed snow huddle around cold, burned-out campfires. A deathly silence hangs over the colony, and we've got some survivors there. Let's explore. So, dying exiles. Some of exiles? Is that a typo in my favourite game of all time? Some of the exiles are still alive, just barely. We could try to bring them to our city, although they might die on the way. One of the dying held a diary to his chest. We read the last entry. Exiled from Tesla City with food and fuel running out, we sent the strongest among us to search for help. They're our last hope. We're afraid this refers to the poor Yankees we found buried. Well, I think we should escort these exiles to the city. We pulled the dying exiles from the snow houses and prepared them for their journey to our city. Some of them stirred from their death-like slumber to bless their absent friends for bringing help. We can't tell them the truth. Not yet. So I'll bring those Americans back over. There we are. Right, so we are starting to get some more steam cores, so maybe it's best we purge on something else. I think it's start time we look into hothouses, alternative ways to make food. And when we can, we will focus on that. Okay, we have another law here. So we don't want to get too extreme into this, because eventually you start getting some places that are not necessarily the nicest in regards to laws. You can kind of veer into extremism. Now, it is a solution to your crisis, but also we want to try and treat these people the best we can, so we don't want to veer into extremism if we can avoid it. And now we have evening players, so we can use some rations here, and it will help build the hope there, and we may turn some Londoners away from their focus. There you go, we turned a Londoner away. There we go, we've got snow cliffs. The hole in the snow leads to a small chamber. Someone lives here, but the lonely human figure we saw from afar has disappeared. It might be the sole survivor of Winterhome. Wood, food rations, and some steam cores. A man was seen from afar was nowhere to be found. Searching his burrow, we found a diary of a scientist who fled Winterhome after the starving city fell into chaos. Its leader, an army captain, appointed himself an absolute ruler. He tried to impose order using force. Plenty of people disgruntled deserted the city, and most of the others rebelled against him. So we've discovered the Shrouded Shade cave from that, so we could head up to that, and I think we will. Even though they've got lots of resources. Nope, that's the other one. They've got lots of resources here. Let's look up to build some more technology here. Let's look into outpost depots. And the people are appreciating the shrines, which is good. It's helped with boosting our efficiency, so hopefully we'll get some more research done. So we're going to be looking now to get some steam steelworks. When that's done, obviously we're not collecting steel from the steelworks whilst it's upgrading. And there we go, we've got another research. So we don't have much here, so we're pretty much going to have to look at something. And we require more steel. It's always steel we're running out of. So we can't actually research anything right now. The cave in a hideout for some children who evacuated from Winterhome. There were no adult survivors here. We should talk to the kids and take them to our city. Little survivors. We talked to the children in the hideout. They said that one night their teachers and some hunters took them out from Winterhome on a secret adventure. Teachers told them they're going to stay here for a while. When the food ran low, their guardians went back to get more and didn't return. It seems these kids were evacuated in time before things in their city got really ugly. Well, let's go ahead and bring these children back to somewhere they can be safe. We filled the children into an orderly column and set off towards the city. They walked quietly and resolutely, like little adults. The youngest clutching their toys tightly. This is going to be a long journey. Please have enough warm beds for their trip, for their arrival. So let's make sure that we do. So I think in that case, let's build some more houses here. Let's just build lots of houses, so we definitely make sure we have enough for everybody. Build some roads there, make sure that's roaded up. More people, which is good. We might even need to build more houses. And let's send these people over to Tesla City. And find out what lays there. There we go, we've got some more steel now, so why don't we focus on getting some improved heaters here. So, we've got some steam hubs now. Steam hubs will be able to light up an area and make sure it's nice and warm. So, looks like we're going to struggle to get everything in there. If we could build it just there, we could probably get away with it. So let's see if we can extend. If we can build it where the shrine is, we could be alright, but the shrine's in the way. So maybe... Well, we haven't got enough heat out to these places at the moment, but I'm not too worried about that. Well, we know we can heat there. And I really want to prioritise that steel place, so we just have to keep in mind we have to keep a heater on here. We've got lots more people, so let's make sure they've all got jobs. Next, why don't we build another coal mine? If we're doing that, we should build a shrine, make sure their efficiency is high. And I'm going to build another church here. Just make sure everyone's got places to go worship so we can lower that discontent. Talking of that, let's raise the hope. Higher hope means lower discontent.
Bundle up. It's getting colder.
There we are. So, we now have our own heating area over here. So we can make sure that we've got lots and lots of heat so these people can work efficiently. So we've got lots more engineers. We're doing alright on 6, so we don't necessarily need to use them for that. So for the time being, we can have some extra people. Why don't we have a look at where the engineers are working? So we've got some engineers here, so let's take them off there. 24 engineers, so that's plenty. So seeing as we've got the heating there, why don't we go ahead and build some hot houses so we can make sure we get even more food for people. There we go. Even our heaters will be even better now. And let's make sure we can build up the heat in the center as well. We're getting a lot more coal now, so we can probably afford it. So we can also look over here. We can see how much we're gaining per day. Same thing with food. Same with the citizens. And there we go. So now everywhere, it's going to have to take a while to get the heat up. There we go. Now look at that. Everywhere around there is now livable. Now for this, we've actually run out of space. So let's have a look. We had coal there before, and we had wood. Well, let's not worry about wood too much. Let's go get some coal. And we'll just take some of these people. Take it off the big one. And go here. So now that we're doing better with everywhere else, let's focus on what are we really lacking at the moment. Let's just get a general depot upgrade so we can hold more stuff. And then we'll build. We want to build where we're not going to have to worry about it later on, so. where we're not going to take up space that we want to heat. So those won't be heated there, and there's nothing we can put there that would be heated, so... This does take up a lot of steel as well, so... Londoners prey on discontent. A few are persuaded. A member of the Londoners is talking to a crowd. He's trying to scare as many as possible into joining the exodus to London, but his visions of doom ring false in the ears of people who are content with the situation in the city. Well, I think this is an interesting situation. Do we let him speak, or ask a cleric to reassure people? I think if we're going to be treating our people as kindly as we can, I think it's important that we let them speak. Now, that's going to allow more Londoners to join, but perhaps there'll be a benefit later down the line. And it looks like our faith is bringing people together. Now we're going to have a wood problem, so let's build some more wood. And let's have a look at some more purpose laws here. So, we can build a temple. We'll build a magnificent testament to the devotion of our people. It will kindle hope in the hearts of the faithful and sway the doubtful. So we can build a temple. The temple will raise hope. Londoners may occasionally mend their ways. Discontent will fall slightly. And we can do an ability there that will lower the discontented. Or we could have faith keepers. The faith keepers, our most devout believers, will ensure that the righteous are able to work and pray in peace and security. So that will allow the faith keepers to build. We can ask them to break up posts. We can do nighttime processions. This is veering a little bit more into extremism territory, so we're going to go to the temple instead.
Listen, everyone.
It's going to take a lot of steel to build, but it will be worth it. And there we are, we got those people back. So we've got all the children back. Let's have a look. So it's kind of our distance here, so we're in a bit of a tricky situation. So let's see if there's any more distance we can make. We can do it one more time. So perhaps it's time to start building much more out. And then putting steam hubs there instead. So I'm going to build something that I know works. So we're going to build a fighting hub, some tents. Going to wait for some more steel. Make sure that's nice and out. Just checking that our people got back. That's good. Now let's send them over to the Frozen Grove. And our food is doing much better ever since we made these places as well. Now, what should we make sure these do? So we want to make sure we always have enough space for coal and food. Writing on the wall. Captain, someone has defaced the walls with predictions of doom for our city. This is troubling. People already fear will share Winterholm's fate, and scared minds are swayed by even the smallest nudges. Well, I think in that case, then we will send some people to just reassure people that everything is going to be alright. There we are. Let's just make sure that we're still doing alright on coal. Now we are beginning to get low on coal, so we're going to want something to focus on so that we make sure we have enough. So we could either work on making sure we use less coal with the generator, or we could make sure that we upgrade our coal mines. Now I don't think it necessarily hurts to upgrade our coal mines, so let's do that. We have the steam cores for it. You can see this is 0% because everybody here is ill. And this is useless because there's no more gatherable trees. We cut them down. So what we can do is we can bring them out, bring the new people in, and that'll be everybody that worked in there will now go over here. Okay, I think we should soon start to look to upgrade our sawmills. Once again, we are still waiting on trying to... We also didn't upgrade our other steel mill. That's probably why we're not getting as much steel. We still want to get that temple before we run out of time. And let's just make sure that people are getting through some free food as well. Lower those Londoners. And here we are, Tesla City. Now, I didn't save before this, which was incredibly foolish. Because we can die doing this. Able minds and bodies will prevail over the cold, reads the slogan over the entrance to Tesla City. A central tower shines the blue glow of electric discharge, which form a protective dome over the town. But something went wrong here. There are charred bodies lying in the streets, and the stench of burned flesh taints the air. We saw a lightning streak from the tower hitting a building and leaving a gash in its roof. So, we can risk entering the city, or stay away from the city. Now, I think what we can do is if we risk entering the city, we get infinite steam cores from here. Something that we only usually get, well, we don't usually get at all. So I think it's worth taking the risk. Like I said, we didn't say beforehand, so cross your fingers, everybody. We entered the city. As soon as our scouts entered the city, we lost contact with them. There's no telling what happened, but we presume they're all dead. Oh, never mind. I entirely lied. Well, we lost our scouts, but we still have the ability to still create an outpost in Tesla City, so... Although we've had the first deaths of the game, I think it's a worthy sacrifice to be able to get unlimited steam cores, something that you only usually have a limited amount of. And let's go send some more people back out there now and try and get to the Dreadnought landing. Perhaps it works differently on the higher difficulties and you can't get it. I'm not sure. I must be misremembering. Another act of vandalism. The Londoners have defaced more walls, urging everybody to join them and abandon the city. Some graffiti even mocks my leadership, branding me an unfit leader and capable of doing what it is to save our people. I think once again, we just send a cleric to reassure people, rather than just ignoring it. We want to acknowledge we've heard it, but not worry people about it. Thank you very much for the follow, Velvet Whispers. Hiya, hope you're enjoying the stream. Have you ever watched playing Frostpunk before? Don't think I've seen you in the chat already, so hope you're enjoying everything. No worries, I hope you have a good rest of your day and I hope you enjoy the rest of the stream. So, a cleric was beaten. Captain, a priest, was assaulted whilst trying to reassure people disturbed by the Londoners' slogan. We should do something to protect our people. So what we could do here is we could start setting up Faith Keepers to secure the streets. Or we need the Faith Keepers to strike back at them. Or we will pray for him. So I think in this situation where someone has been assaulted, I think it's important that we do get some sort of law and order within the city. So we will promise to set up the Faith Keepers. Here we go, now we're going to develop a temple, so now we're starting to get into the position where we're having difficulty trying to figure out where we should put things. So, I think... we should look for somewhere as unobtrusive as possible. Be a bit difficult. So we don't want to develop a whole steam hub to it. I don't think it actually needs to be heated. So with that in mind, I'm actually going to put it here. And the Londoners are growing once again. And there we have the temple built, so that's going to increase. And we have some sermons here, so we can make a short sermon here which will allow hope to rise. Let's have a look at how cold everyone is. So it doesn't seem too bad, but we're going to allow people to work better if they're warmer. And we're going to drop 2 levels eventually. So let's think ahead of time, and let's go get the generator power now.
Work time. Get back to work.
I do need an artist, yeah. If you're interested in helping me trying to figure out my my VTuber model, because I'm looking for something a little bit more permanent than this, have a look over to my About section and send an email over to there. If you look up further into the chat, you can see some of the things. Yeah, sure. Send it over to the email there, Velvet, and I'll have a look at them and see what I think. So we can go back and forth as to what we have in mind, and I've got some money as well, so I'm willing to pay. So send some of your work over, and we'll have a look, and we can have a chat about it. Rather not do it live on stream at the moment, but when we've got some time. So we said we'd promised to get the Faith Keepers, so let's try and sign the law for that.
Hear me, hear me. New law in the city.
Also looking for something about emotes as well, so I'll be looking for that if we ever get affiliate. Let's have a look here. Does that get warm from that? No, we're going to have some struggle trying to heat this once again. And over there? Nope, so you can tell it's going to be heated because it goes white when you're in the right area. So and a lot of our workshops here are taking up space. We're not even heating the public house. Okay, I'll have a look at that after the stream's ended and I'll get back to you. And let's have a look. Let's put it over here because I think we have enough space. We've got people. So we're doing alright with this so far. So maybe... So we're keeping up with the demand, so... Let's put some more gathering huts down with the idea that more people are coming. Let's have a look at how many children's places are full up. So we've got 76 children. Each hold 15, so 15, 30, 45. So we need 3 more child shelters. So we need to fulfill the whole number. Now we're going to look for spaces we can fill them. We're having some difficulty doing that. So, now that we've got the bigger power upgrade, it might be worth us going down here, but that's going to take a little while, and we're going to get cold soon. Let's just see how the coal's doing as well. So we are dropping on coal quite rapidly. So I think for the time being, it'll be best we build over here. And even then, we're going to need those resources. To start researching. So... need to upgrade our mines. Let's make sure those gathering posts have enough. Nope, we don't have enough resources there. Let's wait a couple of moments. There we are. And that's a Londoner turning away from their calls. The Faith Keepers do need to be housed, so there we go. I'm not quite comfortable showing my Discord username, but I will get back to you by email, and then I will follow up with you on there, so I can send you my Discord. once I send it to you on email, but I don't really want to say it on stream because it is a personal Discord. The Londoners prey on discontent, the few are persuaded. A number of the Londoners is talking to a crowd. He's trying to scare as many people into possible into joining the exodus to London. But his visions of doom ring false in the ears of people who are content with the situation. Well, once again, I think we should let this person speak. It will increase the numbers, but if we allow people the freedoms, and we don't try and control them, they'll probably be grateful. Or at least you'd hope. Once again, we're going to go for efficient gathering here. It's going to allow people to get more stuff, so... Buried shame. Poking around the trees marked with crosses, we found shallow graves under each of them. Their dead bodies lack most of the bigger muscles, and some bones bear signs of a cutting tool. The corpses have been obviously stripped of edible parts. Now we know what kept the survivors of the freshwater springs from starving. We'll leave graves intact, but we can cut trees for wood. Once again, it's quite a dark game when it wants to be. We're running low on wood, so let's look to getting somewhere that can get more wood. And ironically, we need more wood to get more wood. And we need more technology, which we can't do right now because we need more wood. About to run out of coal as well.
Time to get to work.
So we've got more wood, so let's bring these up. These over here. And let's try and remove some things around a little. So we don't need as many people here, so let's drop this down to 5. Make sure they get over here. Let's see how we're doing on coal. Okay, we're going to run out of coal, so we want to focus on that as well. So let's look to upgrade the mines. And then we have a light to the south. We found a piece of hull plate bolted to a boulder. It's engraved with the following inscription. In the year 1886, the American expedition aboard Hephaestus landed here in search of a haven from the global glaciation. May God preserve the souls of our fellow countrymen who perished on the way aboard our sister ship Prometheus. We seem to have found a ship. Let's head over to... probably send those things back as well, but let's try and run our luck a little bit more. So now we're doing great with food, but we're running out of wood and steel. Well, that's fantastic. So we will outfeed people even more and make them happy. There we are. So now we've got more coal. Let's see how we're doing on coal. Now we're starting to get back into the positives, which is fantastic. And now we'll go for efficient gathering, so we can grab more coal from there now. Let's make sure, seeing as we're positive, make sure everywhere's nice and warm. And there's someone back with even more wood, which is awesome. And here we are, we're going to send these guys out. Oh, mouse getting a bit stuck. I'm going to send these people out to here, because it only takes them 20 hours to get here, whereas before it took longer, and then it'll take them less time to go from here to here. And now we don't have any tendency for people to join the Londoners, because things are alright. And there we are, let's have a light time procession to make sure everyone's happy. And then we're going to have some evening prayers as well. Let's get rid of those Londoners as quickly as we can. There's no point going back to London. They're all just going to freeze to death if they go. There we are, the research station. The door of the research station has been bashed in. There are signs of fighting inside, broken furniture, damaged scientific instruments, and spatters of blood. Wood, steam cores, and steel. Inside the ransacked station, we found Tesla's auto diary. A voice speaks. All the observed changes, like sun dimming, volcanic ash, could not have caused such cooling. But what if the huge quake of 1887 Patagonia was an asteroid strike? There's shouting, crashes, and then silence. Numerous tracks lead from the door towards the mountains to a cave hideout. Well, let's take these resources, and I think we'll head back because we know we've got some more scouts heading out. Okay, now that we've got some money, let's have a look at getting an outpost depot. I think we can get 2. We can. Okay, so we've got another book of laws. Now, this is definitely getting into the route of being extremist. To err is human, but those who stray must do public penance to discourage others from the path of evil. Only then can they be forgiven. So we've got public penance there, which means that we're going to have more hope. People abandon the Londoners and lowers discontent, but it may cause injuries and discontent will rise. So I think in that case, and then this one as well, it encourages people to speak out against the other peoples in their groups. So we're going to actually go back over to our adaptation laws, and we're going to focus on moonshine. So we're going to try and give some people some moonshine to put with their drinks so they can drink, and so the soup is slightly more bearable for them. Food theft. Someone has stolen 32 food rations from the stockpile. People are saying it was the Londoners gathering supplies for their journey. It seems this ridiculous idea of leaving London is gaining traction. I think this is why we have a group that can enforce some order, so let's send the faith keepers to catch them. Hopefully everyone causes any injuries. And they succeeded. I'm slightly concerned about that coal. Looks like it'll be going up. Could be worse. In one of the other ones, you put cocaine in people's food, so at least it's only alcohol. Okay, let's look. We're getting some medical post upgrades. Although we're doing alright medical, we want to plan for the future. And look at all that food. There we are. So we've got the medical post upgrade. We probably want to look into getting some infirmaries. It's going to allow us to heal people even quicker, and they can hold up to 20 people. So they got over to the Dreadnought landed, so let's send them over to the Ice Corridor. So we've got these set up as well. So these need 10 people at a time, but they will allow you to create outposts to go to these different areas. And so you can send them over to Winterhome, to the coal mine, to get steam cores, to get food. So we're probably going to make one to get steam cores, and we're probably going to make one to get, let's say, food. No, we're doing alright on food. We'll probably say some wood for a little while. So we're going to need to lower some people. Now, seeing as we know we're going to go get some wood, we may as well put them in here. Let's put some engineers in here just to fill the gaps. So we lose wood, but we'll gain wood in the long run. Now that's the only person getting wood for us at the moment, and our food's doing alright. So let's take these people off the food. Yeah, no worry there, Velvet. I'll have a look when the stream's over. Thanks for sending that, by the way. So we're going to be building up on the infirmary there. There we are. So we didn't quite manage to get to the infirmary in this instance. But everything seems alright so far. And we have these people returning. So we've got even more resources. So let's send them over to here with the idea of them going over to there. And seeing as we've got less people on the actual sawmills, let's upgrade the sawmills. Best to do these things at night when people aren't going to have to go work. So you want to try and do as many upgrades when people aren't busy. Okay, so nothing that seems to be too urgent at this current time. So they got to the ice corridor. A triumph of engineering. We marvel at the thick slabs of ice that have been crushed and swept aside by the American dreadnought Hephaestus. Soon we might be able to learn how it managed to accomplish such feats. We see a huge silhouette in the distance, which might be a sister ship, Prometheus. Well, there's nothing to find there, so we may as well head towards it. Okay, cool. I'll make sure to make a note of that. I'll have the video so I can see your name after the stream. Well, I think we will once again send some Faith Keepers to make sure that the food isn't stolen. And this time they failed. Our Faith Keepers did well. They got the goods back, but more importantly, they caught one of the thieves. Now you can put an end to the stealing. They're asking what we should do with the thief. So we didn't manage to actually find the food, but it looks like we have managed to find the thief. So we could let him go, but next time we will have to repent. We could banish him, or our people will decide his fate. I think what's probably best is we don't banish him, but I think it's best that everybody decides what happens to him. And once again, we're going to make a sermon here. I'm going to go to the temple. And we're going to do a ceremonial service. This does cost some rations. This does cost some rations. But now, look, the tendency is going down. Even more people abandoning the Londoners there. Several of the people who wanted to flee to London have decided to trust you and stay. They say your recent decisions convince them there is hope for us yet. So, all on the positive so far. Right, so we've got an outpost built. So if we build an outpost, that will slowly start sending wood to us. And if we build an outpost here, it's going to start sending cores back to us. Our infirmary is done. Now I think it's time we look up for even better technologies. And also we can see that there is a coal mine that can be built here, so we can build one. So we want to build something roughly around the center, have that going over here so it all links together. Let's build a hub so it gets nice and warm. And now we will start tearing down our health buildings, so we're going to build some infirmaries that can take even more people. And this will heat up all this area. And then we want to also build a shrine so everyone gets an increase in efficiency. And that will lead us to build even more houses over here. So how are we doing the children? We've got 76. So let's see if we can spare some more children's shelters. How many more do we need? We need 2 more. One there and one there. There we go. Scouts arrived. So Icebound Dreadnought. Most of the machinery aboard the USS Prometheus has been dismantled and taken away. The massive steam hammer used to split the thickest ice lies broken by the ship's bow. So we've got wood, steam cores, and steel. Calculating genius. The Dreadnought is stripped of useful machinery, but its hull contains enough steel to justify establishing an outpost here. On the bridge, we find a log with Tesla's last orders. Transfer all supplies and able-bodied survivors aboard Hephaestus. Take the amputees only if you have prostheses to make them useful. And there we go. We've got another site discovered. And we've got a lot of resources there. So let's head over to the wrecked vehicle. Also, I think we don't need wood that much. Wood is quite plentiful. So we're going to go away from there. And we're going to send this over to the Icebound Dreadnought to set up an outpost to send over steel. The previous wood transfer is still going to be coming as well. So we're still going to receive that wood.
Move! Time to get to work.
Let's have a look. So that's going to be built. That's going to be built. We're starting to run out of people, so we might have to look for alternative solutions. This would turn it into a brothel, something we probably don't want to do, because it can cause a lot of issues. And we're going to build a care house instead, so when people do get seriously ill, they'll be looked after. And we'll build these here. And there we are. Got the next level. And now I think it's time we build a factory. Let's start getting some automatons around. So we get rid of these engineers from here, put them here. We can keep these half occupied as well. So we've got even more engineers. So we may as well get rid of that building as well. More engineers. And more engineers. Let's make sure that we've got 5 on each. So we need more people to grab more coal. Eventually we might even get rid of this area, because we're going to have enough coal mines. And there we are. We're gathering even more coal. Everywhere's nice and warm as well. We found the wreck of some sort of vehicle. We can salvage some parts from it. Coal and steel. We've got some hidden supplies here. While disassembling the wreck to salvage what we could from it, we found a hidden cache of supplies. So sites discovered supply depot. We can take some resources from there. And we will head over to this one.
Workday ends. It's time off.
And the scouts arrived there, so we're going to send them over to the cave powder. And there we are. We've got care houses now, so the severely sick or amputees will now be looked after. The shack is falling apart, but its contents still have some value to us. Wood and raw food. Searching the shack, we found plenty of valuable supplies. So we've got snow-covered supplies, a frozen pond, 207 wood, and 47 raw food. And these are pretty close by, so we'll also head to these. Let's head over to the frozen pond. Even more people have left the Londoners, so fantastic. Let's just make sure we've got nothing we can do to try and keep people as happy as possible. There we go, some evening prayers. Even more people leave the Londoners. Things are going pretty well at the moment. But we're still fighting on these resources constantly. It's important to just make sure that you're always trying to keep up. Now, the only problem we have at the moment is people. That is our biggest issue. Captain, the Londoners are stealing again. They've taken 17 food rations from the stockpiles. People are angry that the Londoners are putting their crazy idea before the needs of the city. Once again, we're going to ask the Faith Keepers for some help. And they succeeded, but one of our people have died. One of the Faith Keepers was beaten to death whilst investigating a theft. We caught one of the thieves, but not the murderer. What should we do with him? Well, we don't have public penance. We could banish him. The person will leave the city forever. Or let him go. He isn't the murderer. We found one of the thieves, but we can't say for sure whether he's the murderer or not. But I think in this case, we're going to banish the person. New landmark. Our search hasn't uncovered anything of value, but we may be able to reach some of the promising locations from there. Well, that's it. We didn't find anything there. A little bit disappointing, but oh well. More people abandon the Londoners. We have a big problem, ladies and gentlemen. We have run out of coal. It looks like probably when we were working, we weren't working long enough to be able to stock enough coal, and we have run out of coal. So first of all, let's go have a look at this scene. As we approach the cave, its inhabitants pull out rifles and take positions before the wall barring the entrance. They're in bad shape, weak from malnourishment and injuries and illnesses. I think we'll talk to them, trying to convince the Americans to join us. Seeing that we had no ill intentions, the Americans told us how they dealt justice to the inventor after expelling him from his city. We buried Tesla's battered body in the caves and now heading home with these poor wretches in tow. Well, now we found out what happened to Tesla. So now we're going to have some factories so we can start working on some automatons. We can also start working on some prosthesis for people. We can also work on some outpost teams. So we're going to get some streamlined automatons. And now we're going to focus on our dreaded coal situation. So I think the first act to it is to try and get people working earlier so we can start getting some coal in. Then we'll turn the thing back on. We'll keep it on overdrive for a while so we can stockpile some coal without going too far into our resources. Now we've built infirmaries so we can deal with the people that will get ill because they're cold. I think it's important that we build a factory. Now you see all these workshops. We're going to have to go up to the next level again, I think. Because they're not getting heated. So they're cold. So we're going to have to take some time to heat them up. Same thing with our buildings that aren't in the cold there. And it's so cold here, we can't even make food. Same thing for here. Let's build an outpost so we can get automatons, and we can get them to send some steel over so we can make more automatons. I think we go up straight away to the next one. We want to get automaton redesign so we can make the automatons as cheap as possible. Ah, mild frostbite. A citizen becomes gravely ill. One of our people has become gravely ill due to frostbite. This will keep happening if we have people working out in the cold. So this is why you need people to be warm. This is why you need to heat them up. I'm going to go up to another level again. I have to go all the way up, actually. Just to keep people barely warm. We are keeping up with coal consumption. The last of the supplies have been taken, so we'll take it back to our city. Now, hopefully those people will get ill, will get good quick, will get health. Can't speak today. We'll get healthy quick. So let's get rid of some of these. So we want to build some more houses here, where we had those medical turrets. The pub's cold, God forbid. A member of the Londoners is talking to a crowd. He's trying to scare as many people into joining the exodus to London, but his visions of doom ring false in the ears of people who are content with the situation in our city. I think, once again, we let him speak. Yeah, it causes more Londoners, but we're on a downward trajectory. There we are, we've got the final upgrade. Let's go ahead and get some coal mining redistribution. So now we can get some even more coal. So we've got book of laws. I don't think there's any laws that we particularly want to do. Let's grab prosthesis. So I think eventually we're going to want to make some prosthesis for people. So is there anywhere we can get this? There we go. So this will be in the warmth. Actually, that is not in the warmth. It just looks like it's in the warmth. So let's cancel that. It's under the, it's in the shrine, but not the warmth. What we could do, we can get rid of these two workshops. We can put a factory in there. So let's get these people on here, and let's start trying to get 2 automatons out. So they are a little bit more expensive, but that's alright. We've got more people as well. And finally we have scouted pretty much everything we can. This is the last place we can scout. So let's send some people just here. And start making sure we have enough overall. So as you can see, we've now got a nice steady influx of everything. So these people that were working overtime, Now go back to normal working hours. We're still in the positive. These people come back. Even more coal, steam cores, and raw food. And we may as well send these people over here, just in case we discover more places to explore. Let's get that sawmill range so we can start getting more wood. There we are. There's been a new automaton. The Red Inuit. So these people will work 24/7. This only has 3 people on it. We can make sure we always have wood coming in. So what's lacking in people? Probably just put one guy on here and the rest of our engineers.
Workday ends. It's time off.
We'll get a nighttime procession. Still working on another one. Eventually you can get automatons to make automatons. Robots making robots. Yes, the words are too complicated. I think once we're dealt with the Londoner situation, we will end it for the day. So we will end the stream when we have the Londoner situation dealt, and we'll pick it up on the next week. That's not for a little while yet. There we are, the scouts have come over. Now we're going to go to the stone ship.
Move. Time to get to work.
And we have another automaton built. Fantastic. So we're already full up on wood, so we don't need wood. But we always need more steel. We've already got one on there. Or we may as well put the one on the other one. We can get even more food. So now we're starting to get into a position where we're nice and stable with everything. So let's start getting some resource huts down. We may as well send this guy over here just in case there's any more. Sawmills have massively extended their range. Let's look over some things that will be much more useful in general. Right, let's go for automaton redesign. Make them even cheaper. And then we're going to make even more automatons. So an engineer is asking for the data off to study an automaton closely. The automatons can be improved. They may be the pinnacle of our technology, but if we learned how to make them, we can surely learn how to make them better. If I take a closer look at the machine, I can adjust it to improve its performance. Why should it be any different with them? We will let this person carry on with their project. So we've lost an engineer from there. Let's see if we can just quickly replace him from somewhere else. There we go, we've got an engineer working here, so let's take him off and we will put him on here so we can take that guy's place. Scouts have reached the stone ship. Our search hasn't found anything of value, but we may be able to reach some more promising locations from here. So we found an abandoned sawmill. So let's head over there. Now we need... People aren't building because they're still working, so we need people to get off work so they can start building these buildings. Temple once again has lowered even more Londoners. Once again, pretty happy with how things are. Don't necessarily want to go towards that because it's going to get even more extreme. On the next playthrough, if we decide to do this one again, or if we decide to do a different scenario, we may veer more into the extremist ones, and we can see what it's like when you try and take absolute control over everything. Sometimes it is fun being a little bit of a tyrant. The abandoned sawmill. Well, we've found all the resources there, and for the time being, there's nowhere left to scout. We have to wait for more story to progress before we can scout even more. So this guy, we may as well send him back as well. Okay, we've got more space, so let's go create some space from wood. Let's go get some food ration space. Let's go get some steel space. Let's go get some coal space. Right, so something has changed. We now are lower on fuel. So let's have a look. What could have changed? Well, we changed the hours on them, so that's fine. So we're doing alright on steel at the moment, so let's take these guys off here. And let's put them on the coal mines. That means they will be getting coal 24/7, and the generator is also on 24/7, so it should balance out. And the last one was there. These guys can fill here, and here, and here. Now that they're getting fuel constantly, that's brought us up back above, so we shouldn't be in the negative. It's also got colder, so we can lower the heat.
Move! Time to get to work.
There we are. So we've got even more redesign. What I'm looking for is engineer automatons. So we'll do that. Then we will build 3 of them. So these guys are working so quickly that they're picking up all the coal before it gets dropped. Ah, so the engineer working on the automaton project is back. He wants to borrow an automaton. I'm close to a breakthrough. I just need an automaton for a day, and I believe I'll be able to propose specific modifications that will raise their performance permanently. We can give him an automaton, but it means that we won't have one for 24 hours. And I think that's worth it. So where did he take it off? He took it off here. So we'll just take 10 people off here, and we'll put them on here. But that's alright. We'll take those 10 people off. We'll put the automaton back on, because we just made another one, and we'll put it on here. Remember, we're getting constant steam cores from Tesla City as well. Let's go for engineers automatons, which means we can put them on workshops, so that means we can be researching 24/7. There we are, so nothing to do. Let's get some ceremonial service so people can be happy. Look at that discontent. Absolutely no discontent at all.
The shift is ending.
I will be pausing it 1 second. I'm just going to do something. I'll be right back. Just had to go turn on the light. I am back. Okay, we have the scouts returning to the city. So let's disband them because we don't need them out there anymore. Fill up some of these empty spots. And same once again, let's disband these people.
The work shift starts.
They get another hunter's hut. So we're starting to get more people because we're building more automatons. We're effectively making an autonomous city. And yet another automaton. And now we have engineer upgrades, which is fantastic. So if we remove all the engineers from here, put one on here, the engineer working on the automaton project sent in his report. He broke the automaton he borrowed. Now he wants to steam cool. The damage hasn't been for nothing. We can fix the broken machine, and on top of that, we can now adjust the automatons to make them work faster. The engineer's busy again now, but he said he's onto something really exciting. I say we give him one. And there we are. Now we've got constant research. Get some more people out so they can start eating, and so they can get more food. That's fine there, that's fine there.
End of shift.
You can even get automatons to work in the medical facilities if you need to. I don't tend to, but you can. And this is why I didn't want the childs working in the engineering, because eventually we're going to just complete all the research, and so there's going to be nothing for us to do on there. So we'll get the automatons to make sure that they can make even more, they can be even more efficient. Look at RC. The Londoners, we are united. The last of the Londoners has finally seen the folly of their plan. No one wants to leave the city anymore. We've won a hard-fought victory over fear and despair. The tragedy of Winterhome crushed our hopes, but not our spirit. We now stand united once again, stronger than ever, in the face of an uncertain future. Well done. Look at the hope. Maximum hope. Everything seems perfect. We'll play a little bit longer. There we go. We're going to build some more resource huts. So we're starting to get maximum coal. It's got colder again, so we upgrade the heat level. We're probably going to want to improve our heaters as well. So coal, 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 coal. Tell you what, let's build another automaton. A huge success! Sir, the automaton project is complete. Automatons can now be produced at lower cost and used in medical facilities. We learned how to modify the automatons with precision attachments, allowing them to work on the most fragile thing we know of, the human body. It also turns out we can remove some non-essential parts. Automatons can be used at medical facilities. The cost of automatons falls by 5%. Even better. So, let's cancel that. Let's build again, and it'll be even cheaper. Automated city. We've improved our heat. So that means... That means nothing. Okay, so let's look at improving our buildings so we can keep up with demand, but we're doing very well at the moment. I'm sure nothing can go wrong. Nothing at all. Foreshadowing is a literary device. Let's make sure everyone's happy. Nighttime procession. What's this? Unexpected guests. Captain, a group of exhausted survivors have reached our city. From their frantic explanation, we know they've come a great distance and that many of them died on the way. Their phrase, "we're doomed," is coming, keeps being repeated, and they say many more refugees are following them. They're begging you to help them, sir. We will help them. We have more refugees coming in. We're about to get a load of people. And maybe something else is going to happen. But you're going to have to wait till next stream to find that one out. Because I am tired and ready to end for the day.